How's it going, everybody? My name is Artorigold, and today I want to go over a user-submitted VOD somewhere in the platinum range. This is going to be a Reinhardt video. So Reinhardt is the standard main tank of Overwatch. I think he will always be that standard go-to, very reliable pick that works on most maps, not every map, but on most maps. So right at the beginning, I have a little bit of a nitpick to go over, and it's basically when you're playing Reinhardt, you have to worry about a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but one of the things that you need to worry about a lot of the time is your Zarya and the bubbles. Not only the bubbles that she will be applying to you and how you use it in order to try and be aggressive, or how the Zarya is going to be able to get energy from you, but also her own bubbles too. And so one of the things I kind of didn't like here is that you put your shield up when the Zarya had a bubble. So as you can see here, she kind of lost probably a little bit of energy charge because she's behind your shield. She has the bubble still, and the bullets, as you can see, the bullets are aiming at her and probably would have given her just a little bit more energy charge. It's a very small nitpick, but I mean, you know, it's one of those things. If you can try to just be conscious of bubbles and how you should use them, you want to try and give your Zarya, especially in the early game. Most importantly in the early game, I think giving the energy charge to Zarya is rather important because you're not going to die right off the bat if you put your shield down, unless the enemy has a Widowmaker or something like that. Then you don't really have to worry about it too much. So I do like that you moved back up to the point. I think that was a very smart move. Again, really good. Putting your shield down, I don't think if you get bubbled as Reinhardt, there's not really a whole reason for you to keep the shield up because it's just going to make you're just going to move slower, and basically the bubble is going to enable you to be aggressive and just put the shield down, and also you could just take that time to recover a tiny bit of shield too. That's also another opportunity. So what I would have liked you to do here is get a little bit more aggressive. I think you are playing pretty passively, so I do like that move. So one of the things that happened here is the Pharah was getting really low to the ground. Normally, I don't think you should waste your time with a Pharah in the air. Obviously, you can't hit her with your hammer, but in this, you can hit her with her hammer. She's right in the range for you to do that, and landing a Flame Strike on her is pretty easy to do. Now, there's pretty much only two reasons that a Pharah is going to be at this range. One, she has her ultimate, or two, she's a really bad Pharah and doesn't know how to manage her fuel. And usually, it's probably going to be the first one. She has her ultimate, and she's going to try and get as close to the enemy that she has in mind, and this is great. You're going to be able to put that Flame Strike on her, which puts her at really low HP, and because of that, she's going to get pretty much no value out of her barrage. So yeah, that was a really good play. I'm curious if you were hitting at the Pharah because she was close, or if you knew she had barrage. I mean, either way, it worked out in the end, and I think that was the right play, and I really like that. I think the only thing that could have made that differently is if maybe you just got a little bit more chip damage in at the beginning of the game. I mean, if you're 5% or less to an ultimate when you die, then I like to think of it as I could have gotten that ultimate. It was in my power to do so, but there was one tiny little small mistake that got me out or not allowed me to do that. And I think in this case, it's probably Flame Strike usage. You need to make sure you use your Flame Strike as much as possible into the enemy team. There is really nobody who can block it. Pretty good charger. I like that. By the way, that was an insanely good charge. Yeah, so one of the things you have going for you is that you can have a free shatter every time. They're running a Roadhog Diva. They have no barriers to block it. So right here, I would probably want to see you do a couple of different things. Basically, I want to see you be as aggressive as possible with your shatter. You can get shatter back really quickly. It's a very expendable ult. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I like that. You didn't have Flame Strike available to you, so you couldn't have used it. I mean, ideally, I would have used my Shatter and then Flame Strike, but you didn't have the Flame Strike, and you were too far away from them for the melee, so I do think that the pin or the charge was the right play. I think you probably could have gotten a little bit closer. If the enemy team doesn't have a shield, and that basically means you know you're going to have a guaranteed big slam, then what you can do is you can just push up a little farther ahead, like, you know, get a little bit up close to them. Because when you do that, not only is it going to just guarantee your shatter, I mean, your shatter is already guaranteed in that instance. All it's doing is it's allowing you to do more potential damage to the people you shatter. In other words, you get closer to them and you're able to get into melee range of them, and being in melee range of you obviously just allows you to cleave into them, swing into them, flame strike, and then charge. But because you kind of used your shatter from a longer range, a little bit of a distance, the only option that you had was flame strike charge, and since you already used your flame strike, you couldn't use that on them. So those are some small things that I would work on. So right here, one of the things I would have done differently is the Reaper got stuck in a trap, but you held your shield up. I mean, it's not a big thing. Overall, it's very like nitpicky things I'm saying. Things that you can always improve on. I don't like that charge too much. So yeah, in that situation, you were pretty close to the Roadhog. All you had to do was just kind of move forward, and since they're very slow while they're moving backwards, you have the increased movement speed advantage, and your Moira is ulting, so you could have just held down left click and moved towards them while Moira was pocketing you, and you would have been fine. The charge was kind of ambitious, and another reason why I don't like the charge is because they have an Ana, and if Ana was able to, she can sleep you during the charge, which made your charge kind of useless in that instance, but you don't get slept, so that's good. But I also think that you kind of lost on a bit of value because you didn't just walk forward and press W, but good shield there. So like in this instance, the Zarya gets hooked, and I think that was a really good shield usage. So what you do here is you move your shield in a way where it puts it between the Roadhog and the hook victim, and that's huge. That's really good. You can't do that in every instance, and that's really hard to pull off on Reinhardt, but when you are able to do that, that's huge. Like, that's a very advanced thing to do with Reinhardt, and I really like that. So here, yeah, playing near the payload is good because they are very close to the C9 or very close to the capture point. Oh, that was such a good charge. At first I was a little worried that if it was going to hit the Moira or not, but since Moira is ulting, she doesn't have her Fade ability, she can't use that, so being able to land a charge is much easier. Oh, that's really frustrating. I think I would have used my Shatter there. Yeah, you had your Shatter. So in this instance, I think using your Shatter would have been good. What I would have liked to see you do is kind of get behind the Reaper, so you kind of like move to the right, where I think if what you should have done here is you should have moved back to the left. While the Reaper was in Wraith form, he wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting here in Wraith form, and he was kind of indecisive. He moved like left and right and just kind of AD'd, like he did nothing. He just hit A and D. So what I would have liked you to do is get behind him, and if you were moving behind him instead of more to the right in this instance, then you probably could be positioned here, and then you can use your hammer down and be able to shatter the Reaper and then anybody who's on the cart as well in that big cone fashion. And that's what I would have liked to see there. But instead you kind of brawl it out with a Reaper, and that's dangerous. I mean, you're at 58 HP, Reaper has lifesteal, he's hitting every single shot directly into your face. Dangerous, very dangerous move. And plus there was 3 people on cart. Yeah, I think you probably should have used Shatter there. I think that would have been better. But that's okay, I guess. Are you able to contest it back? I mean, if they're able to touch it, you get the revive off. Ooh, nice bubble by the Zarya. The Zarya actually gets this huge bubble. Okay, yeah, I think yeah. Using your ult here in this situation was really good. Oh, man. Did you really not get any kills from it, though? You use a lot of... Oh, man. So you commit Grav, you commit Shatter. You get the Genji and Hog in it. You get the Hammond in it, too. The Reaper dodges it. Oh, that's so rough. Whoa, Hammond got a kill on the Junkrat tire with his mines. You don't see that every day, that's for sure. The only thing I could have done differently is maybe try to shatter in a way that hit more people, but I mean, really, that's so nitpicky, and I think you shattered plenty of people. You shattered the 2 people in Grav, and those people should have died, but then they somehow lived, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure how those guys lived. So right now you're in a very heavy stagger position. You need to regroup. I mean, at this point, I probably wouldn't even peek too much. I might use a flame strike, but that's it. The only thing that peeking here does is it's either going to get rid of your shield because you're going to have to use it, or you're probably going to give them ult charge. So here you're probably a little bit grouped up. Yeah, your team's kind of here. Good wall. I would charge that Hammond right there. I would have charged that Hammond. Okay, so you didn't need to charge. That's fine. I think that's good. Dealing with the Reaper in the backline is decent. Everybody's dead on the enemy team, so fully committing to that Reaper I think was fine. In some instances, I would say that play would be bad. If the enemy front line was still present in that fight, then completely leaving the front line and the objective as Reinhardt to deal with the back line would not be the play. Sometimes you have to let your team kind of deal with it yourself. Reinhardt's job is the front line. That's your priority. You can peel in some situations, it's better to peel, but I think overall, I think other characters do it better. I think having your shield on the front line preventing the enemy team from moving forward even more is much better than turning around and trying to swing on a Reaper who has Wraith form. So yeah, but in that instance, I think it's much better for you to go ahead and turn around and deal with the Reaper. I think that was better use of your time, so I think that was good because the enemy team was dead and you didn't have to worry about it. That slam was a bit ambitious. So one of the things that what I would have liked to see you do is not do anything at all there. Because you charged, sure you were able to get out of the range of all of these mines, but here's a really interesting play that Reinhardt can do that I don't see a lot of people doing. What you can actually do is let the Hammond hit you. Let the Hammond use the mines on you. That's where you want to be. Reinhardt hard counters Hammond mines. If you get slammed and he mines and you're just in the middle and you're surrounded by all of these mines around you, all you need to do is hold down right click, have your shield up, and then just spin around in a crazy dizzy circles. And your shield is going to destroy every single one of those mines. I kid you not. You hold down right click and you spin in a crazy circle, kind of similar to how a mercy res can be, where you like turn the sensitivity on really high and then just spin in a circle. You're going to kill every single mine with your shield. Your shield, your barrier, can actually destroy mines. And you just want to let Hammond hit you, and you want Hammond to use his ult on you, and you want to be in the center of it. I know that sounds weird, but you completely clear out all of the mines with no problem whatsoever, and then you can just cleave down the ones on the outer circle with your hammer. So yeah, you kind of counter Hammond mines. Interesting little fact about Reinhardt. Okay, so was this good or not? So the Genji was ulting. Yes. But was it needed? Was it necessary? So you ult the Genji, yes. But what is he attacking right now? He's attacking a Mei who's invulnerable to damage with Ice Block, and a Zarya who has a really high energy and a bubble preventing all damage done to him. And also the damage from Zarya's gun is going to go through deflect. Was that a good shatter? I think in some instances, yeah, shattering a Genji who was using Blade can be really good because it basically you're just using your ult to stop your team from getting melted by a blade, such as a Zenyatta or a Lucio or some sort of support character, right? Like an Ana who misses her sleep dart. I think in that instance, that's huge. Basically, you're committing an ult to stop another ult, and I think that's really good value, especially if it saves your support's lives. But he's not hitting a support. He went for a Mei who ice blocked. Now you're safe. And then he went for a Zarya, now he bubbled, and now she's safe. So this ultimate is okay. You get the kill. That's fine. Genji gets no value out of his blade, and you get a kill out of your shatter, so that's a trade. Not only do you get the Genji ult, but also you get the Genji's life. So one ultimate gets a life and an ult. That's decent value, but I don't think it's like the best ult. I think it's an acceptable ult. I don't think anybody was in any immediate danger. Honestly, I mean, okay, since you're in Platinum, I think that play is okay. But once you reach like Master level, if a Genji does that play and he tries to go and use his blade on a Master or Grandmaster Zarya player, that Zarya is gonna bubble, get energy, and then just melt him. I mean, she's got what, 400 health, and it's 120 damage per slash. I mean, you got plenty of time to just melt the Genji, especially at the higher level. At this low rank of Platinum, yeah, maybe the Zarya wouldn't have the tracking skill of a Genji double jumping around all the place. So yeah, I think that's okay. This is an acceptable play. I am really happy that charge didn't go through, and I'll give you one good reason. You would have been charging into all of those mines. That would have been really painful. Don't use your charge ability if there's mines there. You will take a lot of damage. I mean, sure, probably would have been alright hitting a frozen target, but I think you would have probably died with all those mines there. So anyways, big grab. Very big grab. I like it. And you're swinging into it. There's only one thing I would have liked to see you do differently, and that's use your flame strike. Your flame strike does more damage than one hammer swing, and it also would have hit all of the targets in there just like your hammer swing. So I would have done one left click and then one flame strike and then one left click, because your flame strike can cancel the animation of your melee, and that would have been like a very min-max sort of thing to do. I think that's a nitpicky thing more than anything, but overall, really good play. I think you did really well. So here, yeah, shield the Reaper ult. I like that you're shielding it. You get the bubble, now I'd go swing. Yeah, swing on it. Flames, good flame strike. Your whole team's there to back you up there. You were in some pretty big danger, so I like that you used your shield while he was on you. You don't want to challenge a Reaper to a 1v1. I mean, if he's at low health, maybe you can get away with it, and depending on who's next to him. But in that situation, you were really low health. So yeah, shielding was definitely the play. He's really low there, so yeah. I would have liked to see you use your flame strike a little earlier. I mean, you were at full... So in this instance, you had a bubble, you were melee him. I would have liked to see you use a flame strike right here. I mean, the guy's 1 HP, so flame strike definitely would have been the play, especially because you have so many resources available to you, and I think the risk versus a reward here definitely benefits you. I mean, even if he goes for the hook, I think you could probably kill him, or your team is going to be able to kill him, because while he's hooking, he's not going to be able to use his vape or his breather. So either way, really good. I think that was a very nitpicky thing. I think overall your gameplay on Reinhardt is actually really solid, and a lot of the things that I think you can improve on are very simple things that you can improve on. Like, I think everything you're doing is something... If you're doing anything wrong, I feel like I'm nitpicking. They're very small, tiny little mistakes that you are making. And overall, I think you can improve and definitely become better Reinhardt if you work on these things. If you're looking to play Reinhardt and you're looking to climb as Reinhardt, the things you need to work on aren't going to be mechanical. They're going to be on game knowledge. They're going to be on intelligence and strategy, when to play Reinhardt, when to do the flame strike, when to go and do melees, when to hold shield, when to look to use your ultimate, when to charge, and how to min-max all of those things to extreme levels. And then I think if you master all of those things, you can get the master pretty easily with Reinhardt. The next step, master to grandmaster, is minimizing the amount of mistakes you make. And along with that, I would think shot calling. Shot calling is huge. The big thing about a main tank player is shot calling. You're going to be a shot caller. You're going to tell the team where to go, where to move, what to do. What, you know, those are the things. You're kind of like the team captain, and that's also going to be a huge thing in the Grandmaster. But I think it goes full circle with what I was saying. The thing that I would focus on the most with Grandmaster would be probably minimizing all of the mistakes that you make, and then shot calling. So here, extremely aggressive. I like it. I would like to see a shatter. Oh no, that's so sad. That's unfortunate. That's unlucky. There's nothing you can do about that. I love the aggression here. They're low. The mercy is right there. Swiggity swoo. Oh, just get her. Swiggity swooty. You're going for that mercy's booty. Get her. I love it. I love it. I would have shattered a little bit sooner, and if you were able to do that, it probably would have gone off. But overall, I mean, really strong aggression. I like it. If you got that shatter off, though, I think that would have made such a big difference. It really would have. You got the res, but most of your team is dead. So, I don't know. Holding your shield here is probably best. Ooh, that Torb was one. If your buddy on Genji was just a second sooner, was a shot being called? Let me look at team chat. Was there any shot being called? Look at the top left. Was a shot being called? You get the Torb to one. Top left. No shot call. So this is what I'm talking about when you're trying to make your climb to Grandmaster. One of the things that you can do is use voice chat. If you get someone to 1 HP like that, you need to say in voice, Torb 1, Torb 1, Torb 1. That is your job. I don't care what character you're playing. If you get someone to 1 HP, you need to call that out, because that could be a potential kill. But unfortunately, yeah. Oh, good charge. You got the Torbjorn with the charge, and you get the Roadhog with the charge. Really good work there. Oh no, the soldier had such a good visor there. That looks like a regroup. That's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. You still have plenty of time though. You have like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So one of the things I'm talking about is communication is key. And when you're playing Reinhardt, you need to shot call. But I think it's everybody's job to shot call. I don't think it's just one person's. It's basically everybody's job to say, all right, 1 HP, 1 HP. Typically when you're looking on, oh, that's unfortunate. There's nothing you can do about a tire. You can try to flame strike it, but so it's everybody's job to call out things, especially if someone is 1 HP. I think it's everybody's job to call that out. Typically, if you're on a pro team, the main tank will be calling the shots. I'm like, what's the game plan? We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing this. And then there's going to be an ult tracker on the team. Generally, the supports are going to be the ult trackers, and they're going to try, and what that means is they're basically going to be like, all right, the enemy Genji is close to Blade, the enemy team definitely has Transcendence, and things like that is what an ult tracker does. There are some reasons into it, and I can go into a video basically to like what every role does on the top level and what's expected of them, what's the shot caller going to do, who is the shot caller, and things like that. Big slam, I like it. So your shield's low. In this instance, there's 3 people grouped up here, and you got to the corner of Ryan. Like you're in this like really crazy spot in Reinhardt where I think your shatter is gonna move past him, even if the Reinhardt hits a shield right here. I'm pretty sure your shatter is gonna go right past him, so that's huge. So yeah, that's a really good shatter. I think you needed the Flame Strike first. Did you have Flame Strike up? Let's look. Oh man, you had Flame Strike. I mean, just look at this. I don't know if anybody's familiar with bowling, but this is a strike. I mean, everybody's just lined up perfectly in a line. One Flame Strike would have just hit every single one of them. So yeah, that was a missed opportunity. You definitely needed to Flame Strike all of those people. Wait, what? What knocked them away? Pharah, no, Pharah, why would you use your E? They were all perfectly aligned. Oh, Pharah, that was a really bad E by your Pharah. It separated everybody. So, yeah, you guys cleaned it up, but you committed Coalescence, you committed Shatter, you committed Barrage. That's a little too many ults. I think in a solo, I mean, you're climbing the ladder on Platinum, so it's fine to commit a lot of ults, but you don't want to commit every ult. You're going to give the enemy team a huge advantage, because if you just use all 6 of your ults to get a point and you don't win the game from that, then that basically means the next push, the enemy team is going to have at least 1 ult minimum, and you don't have any ults. That's a huge advantage the enemy team is going to have over you, and that's going into the ult economy. So that's one of the things that you really have to consider is, do I need to commit an ult? Is this going to be the last fight? And, you know, sometimes in some situations you want to save your ult. I think as Reinhardt specifically though, in this VOD, using your shatter is perfectly acceptable. You get shatter really quickly, especially with Flame Strike spamming. Yeah, I don't like that. So there were a few reasons that were wrong about that charge. One, they had a McCree. I mean, it's obvious they had a McCree. The McCree just killed your Pharah, and he's right in front of you. So charging is definitely not the right move. But here's another reason why it's not the right move, because 100% the enemy Reinhardt has Shatter. I have not seen Reinhardt use Shatter in a long time, and you just used Shatter. So what's that tell you? He's got it. He's got an ultimate. If you try to charge as Reinhardt, then that's going to give the enemy Reinhardt an opportunity to just stun you mid-charge and then everybody behind you. And he does exactly that. Luckily, very luckily though, very, very luckily, you regained control back of your character before the shatter hits, and you are able to block it. But I still think it was a really bad play to charge, because if the Reinhardt had a quicker reaction speed, he would have been able to punish everybody behind. I mean, your Moira and Zarya are right there, and of course yourself would have been really directly affected by that, but it's not too big of a deal. I mean, that's obviously a team wipe, because you were down 2 people when you did that charge anyways. I mean, there was a lot of reasons why that charge was bad, but I definitely wouldn't try and charge people at that close range as Reinhardt. Going for a pin kill, as, you know, nice as it seems, just you holding down left click, swinging that hammer on the front line has way more value than you trying to charge into all 6 of the enemy team and maybe getting a kill. you're going to be much easier to hit. Like, if you're on the front line and you're just hitting your hammer, you know, you're just hitting people with your hammer, you're creating value for not only the rest of your team because you're on the front line blocking damage and absorbing all the hits, you're going to be getting all of the heals, you're going to be getting the bubbles from Zarya, giving her more damage, more energy, giving ult charge for the healers. There's a lot of things that's going to be creating space because everybody's going to have their attention on you and trying to shoot you and kill you because you're on the front line left clicking, and then you can use the rest of your DPS is going to have a lot of more space to do and shoot whoever they want. So that's a lot more value out of a Reinhardt to just hold left click. So in this situation, I actually probably, I would be swinging on the Reinhardt a lot more because you have 63% to your ult and the enemy Reinhardt is probably much lower than you. So if you continue swinging on the Reinhardt, maybe trade like left click shield, wait for Roadhog to hook, then go harder on the engage would be better. But in this instance, I think you should be a little bit more aggressive with your shield because you're going to be getting your ultimate a lot quicker. Oh yeah, you should go for the soldier. Get that soldier. Yeah, don't stop that commitment. I think if you committed to that soldier a little harder, I think you thought you were going to kill him because he got 1 HP, but he had a Mercy like pocketing him, which really just kept him alive with 1 HP for a little too long. If you committed to that kill, you could have charged out of there a little sooner, but that's a very nitpicky thing. I do like that you committed to that soldier, but I think you hesitated or you thought that he was dead for a moment. So here, this is a big shatter opportunity. All 3 of them are above and overextended and away from the Reinhardt shield, but you are able to get hooked and you are able to get flashbang by McCree. So you have to be careful with that. So right there, shatter time, 100%. He used it. So big. It's a huge slam. I love it. I love it. I love it. Big grab. Here's the problem though. You used Coalescence, Shatter, Grav. That was a little too much ults. Let's go back. Do we see an ult when you hit tab? Okay, so you don't have an ult, Moira doesn't have an ult, Zarya doesn't have an ult, so here, your shatter, big, that was good. Grav, that was big, that was good. Coalescence, that was a little lackluster. I mean, you already shattered and graved their whole team. You shouldn't need Coalescence to do damage, and you should never use Coalescence for damage. You should focus on the healing with it. But not only that, I don't think it was needed because Grav and Shatter, that's enough damage, especially if you have a Junkrat who's able to hit into it and a Widowmaker. So the ultimates that you have coming up, you have walls, that's okay, not gonna help win you a fight really, unless the Widowmaker's like insane, and 26 to ult here, Tire would be amazing if you have it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. There's only a minute left too, and everybody's dead, so you don't have any time to build an ult. You have one ult, basically. You have the Mercy ult, which is gonna be a little okay. It's gonna help keep the Mercy alive, certainly, so that's more consistent healing, but I would have liked to see Coalescence with the Mercy ult. It's kind of a rough situation. You're definitely lacking on the ult advantage, and at this point in time, the enemy Reinhardt, he probably has Shatter. So that's one thing that I think you need to keep in mind, is that you need to try and block the enemy Reinhardt Shatter. Okay, you got 2 picks. This is huge. This is a 4v6. I don't know what you're doing up here. I don't know what you're looking up here. I don't have game sound on. You need to be focused on the cart. Your cart is right here. You just got 2 picks. It's a 4v6. You are the front line. You need to be on the cart, left click swinging and making sure that people get off of it. And as soon as they get off the point, then you cap it. I mean, there's very little time left. You don't have the ult advantage. You need to get this point now. You have 2 picks. This is the best time to do it. I don't know what's happening up there. If I knew, then maybe that would... Okay, it's a soldier visor. I still think you should be on the point. You've wasted a lot of time looking at this, so let's look at it again. So here's the payload. Another big thing, staying on the payload would make it move quicker too. You have 3 people on the payload, it goes quicker. So you got 2 picks. You got 4 people on it. Bam. Right there. You hold shield. What's this doing? It's not doing anything. Your entire team is off the payload. There's only 2 people on it. It's moving slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the soldier. And the soldier gets the kills on people who are on high ground, by the way. Your shield in this instant, I mean, 5 seconds in this situation, that's a lot of time. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's that good. Because what's happening right now? These 5 seconds of you holding shield doing nothing, Who's over here? We got Roadhog and we have Reinhardt, and they're on the payload. And another big thing is this Reinhardt, if he doesn't have Shatter, he's extremely close to it. And if you're sitting and you're pointing your shield this way, then yeah, that's a tough situation. I mean, obviously you want to block the damage as much as possible from the visor. So this is the option. This is what you should be doing. So in this instance, if you hear the visor and you know you could do two things. You could either try and push on the payload, concentrate on the front line, and just swing hammer and completely ignore visor and let other people deal with it. And that's okay I think that's what I would be doing at the Grandmaster level, because I think people could deal with the visor soldier pretty easily as long as they're like smart about it and they don't peek. Or if it's a Widowmaker and he peeks properly. In your situation, what I think you could have done is, instead of holding right here, let's rewind. Instead of holding right here, where you're basically just standing at this bridge, what you should be doing instead is backing up. Because your shield doesn't really cover, like, look at all this wasted shield potential. All this area with your shield, it does nothing. You're only using like 70% of it, right? And then you also have this big thing right here. So basically there's two spots. It's this tiny little area right here, and there's tiny little area right here. And if the soldier is up there and you see that he got a kill, that means soldier is probably near. I don't know, I can't hear the game sound. But what would happen in this situation? Basically, soldier is on this bridge and he either jumps down from the bridge and goes right here and then he's in your face, or he jumps down from right here or right here. So those are the three spots. So in your location, that doesn't save anybody like at all. So in this situation, I would just back up completely, go to this area, and then your shield, if your shield was over here, then it would protect these line of sights from every angle. And even if he drops down, his gun isn't going to be able to do anything to his shield, and it's also not going to go over it as well. So I think backing up completely would have been better. You're kind of hesitating in this moment. So I would have either decided to back up completely or just go for it. I would have committed, yeah, charge this Reinhardt if you can. Oh, that's really unfortunate. So if you see a Reinhardt who screws up a charge like this, then you definitely commit to the Reinhardt and try to kill him. So here, in this instance, you don't even need to like charge right away. You can just get up in like super close melee range of the Reinhardt, which you could have done. They could have like waited like a second, because he's not going to kill anybody with this hammer, and then you could have charged him. Swinging on that McCree is what I would have been doing. I would have swung again on that McCree or tried to flame strike him. Okay, good. You got to use your shatter. It's like 19 seconds left. Big slam, big slam. Kill the Rhine. Yeah, good flame strike usage at the beginning there. I like it. Holding shield. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you're getting pushed away from a Roadhog. I like that you're using that momentum to get you to safety. I like it. So here I would hold shield, not flame strike. Oh, I don't know why you walked back into a coalescence, but your shield does not stop a coalescence. It will go right through you. What you should have done was hit the X button, ask for healing, and play around this corner, or go inside this tunnel, and then you would have been fine. In this instance, you're at 15 health. Yeah, don't go in the tunnel, actually. The tunnel was not the right play. I think you were thinking about going in the tunnel there. Oh, man, that's so tough because it's literally overtime. You got revived. That's huge. You need to get into the action as quickly as possible here. The charge is okay. I don't mind the charge because you needed to touch the cart. I think that's over. I think you played that as best as you could. The only thing I could have, like, really nitpicked about is the charge on the Reinhardt earlier. That's basically the only thing. I thought you had a really good slam. I thought that was super winnable. It's rather unfortunate you didn't get that, but in summary, I think you played really well as Reinhardt. I think you made a lot of right plays. There were a few things that didn't really hit home that well, but I think more than anything, they're very small mistakes. They're very nitpicking, right? I think I've used that word a lot. You could probably even have a little counter of it at the bottom of the screen if you want to, but I mean, that's really what it was. You probably made a few little small mistakes, but overall what happened was those mistakes added up and it caused a loss. I don't think it was overall your fault. I think you played pretty well, but I do think you can play better, and I do think you can make less mistakes, and that's what I would take away from this VOD. I think your decision making was pretty good. I think you have a very good understanding of Reinhardt and how he is played. I think your slams were big, but you do have some things you need to work on. I think you need to work on flame striking on targets after your slam. You kind of charge right in there. I don't want to see you charge after you slam. I want to see you put in some left click damage and some flame strike damage and then charge. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? You get in more damage, and then by the time you use your charge, you're going to have like 30% to your next ult. That's a lot of value. You got to get that value. And in general, though, I think you should definitely keep playing Reinhardt. I think he played really well, and I think he's a very strong tank, and I think he works on most maps, and I think he's a great character for trying to climb to Diamond and to Masters with. If you're not the best, like, mechanically at the game, I think playing a character like Reinhardt is really big. I think you can go really far and climb with Reinhardt. All you need to do is focus on decision-making, game knowledge, and awareness, and things like that. So overall, I thought it was a really good game of Reinhardt. You are definitely gonna make it if you keep playing and practicing, and that's all I got to say for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.